I've not seen her picture before. I'll be sitting here waiting for the...
I'm leaving, Daniel. I came here to be with you, but I want answers.
I'm thinking this is upsetting.
He is lying to me, and he's trying to make me look insane. I'm getting sick to my stomach. It's making me question more about this woman. What is he hiding about it that he has to lie about?
Yes, to be honest with you, I am being caught. I didn't want to hurt her, but I was trying to date an American woman.
Out of nowhere, we catch Daniel in the headlights, staring into Lisa's face, shaking his head, swearing he's never messaged any other American woman, while the cameras roll and the tension in the air could slice right through your screen, and a second later you realize this isn't just another awkward reality TV moment. This is the fracture where trust doesn't just bend, it shatters into pieces you're never sure get put back the same. And right as Lisa hears him deny it, her jaw tightens. Her eyes flood with disbelief, and every viewer at home feels that gut punch for her. Because you know she's not new to bad love, but this is next level, and for a split second, it looks like the truth might actually light up the whole room. This is Oliva. You're watching Reality Sport, and if you're not subscribed, what are you even doing? Hit that button. Drop your hot take in the comments. Because tonight, we're dragging this drama all the way into the daylight, and you know you want your voice in the mix. So, you're watching this unfold, and you suddenly notice Lisa isn't just frozen in the moment, she's working every angle in her head at once, ping-ponging between heartbreak and that numb, calculating calm people get when they realize the answer was screaming in their face all along. And you start to remember all those not-so-innocent details from earlier episodes. Daniel always a little too eager when the group laughed about his new American girlfriend, always ready to flash that charming smile right after a sketchy comment or a weird money question, while his friends sat watching. With those looks that hold back more than they're saying, like even they're tired of playing wingman for him. Lisa stares down at her phone, clutching those old screenshots like the last scraps of a map through the fog of his stories, wishing she hadn't wiped her old texts. Wishing she'd pressed him harder last night instead of letting him talk in circles until the drinks kicked in and the laughter drowned things out. You start remembering how her friends, her family, online strangers, and random bystanders at the bar all seem to hit on the same theme. Why is Daniel so interested in Lisa? And why now? Was it the supposed whirlwind romance? Or is every text he ever sent her just an investment in a new life somewhere far from home? Lisa can't let go of the sick feeling that she's being played by someone who might have been running this game before she ever showed up on the scene. All the supportive words mean nothing now, drowned out by her own doubts ringing 10 times louder. Was any of this real, or is she just the next line in Daniel's long-running script? Another footnote in his journey to America and a bigger bank account. As Daniel tries to deflect, acting like he's the only honest one in a world full of liars, Lisa feels something cold move inside her. And for once, you see her not as a victim, but as a woman waking up and seeing every warning she brushed off. Was this the moment she finally connects the dots, or will she swallow his apology one more time and lose another piece of herself before the final cost? And the real question, if you were in her place, would you believe him or start looking for the nearest exit before the lies swallow you whole? Lisa's hands shake as she scrolls through her old texts, searching for those screenshots, praying to find even one shred of pixelated proof. The phone stares back at her, blank and cold. She feels every ounce of regret for switching devices last month, every regret for trusting a man who suddenly seems allergic to honesty. Her breath catches with each tap, knowing those screenshots might have swung everything. Hard proof Daniel's words don't line up with reality. But now, she's got nothing, at least nothing digital. And the emptiness in her hands feels almost as bad as the disappointment boiling behind her eyes. She looks up at Daniel, voice cracking not from fear, but from the humiliation of seeing her hard evidence evaporate into thin air. And for a second, the world tilts sideways. But Daniel doesn't blink. Instead, he leans in, acting all wounded pride, and his voice slides into a tone that's equal parts sweet and suspicious. He says, "If you've seen messages, prove them. Show them now or admit you're making it all up because you're jealous or insecure or worse, paranoid." He tries to pull her in with big gestures, saying, "You can ask me anything." But the second she pushes, his answers twist and squirm. You start seeing the tactic: deny, discredit, distract. He says, "There's no screenshots, so maybe it never happened." It's a textbook pivot only someone very practiced in the art of self-preservation would even try. And it lands awkwardly, like watching someone do sleight of hand with cards up their sleeve and thinking, did he really just say that out loud? Lisa, feeling boxed into a corner, makes a snap decision fueled by panic and defiance. She finds the name of the other woman, the one Daniel supposedly never spoke to, the one who messaged Lisa all those warnings, and she taps out a quick, trembling message. Are you there? Did you save anything? Because right now, it feels like she's fighting for the last word in her own story. Her hope flickers alongside fear. What if the other woman doesn't reply? What if she does, but the messages are all gone? Or even worse, what if she sends back something undeniable that Lisa isn't ready to face? Watching all of this, Daniel keeps building his wall. With every direct question, his face darkens and he sighs, pretending ancient confusion. He says, I can't remember any woman, I never messaged anyone, convenient amnesia. Lisa isn't buying it. Part of her sees how carefully this all lines up, how quick he is to dodge, how his story changes depending who's in the room. That gaslight burns brighter as he puts the burden on her. Produce receipts or let it go. The pressure grows, Lisa's mind is racing. How far will he go to dodge a simple question? Who does that? If they're not hiding something they never thought would see daylight? The air grows heavy, every second stretching into an accusation. As Lisa stares at her phone, waiting for that blue bubble or ding, you can feel the push and pull inside her. She wants the truth, even if it hurts, but she's terrified that clarity means she was the last to know, the punchline to the joke everyone saw coming. Daniel, sensing her slipping away, acts shocked, almost makes fun of the idea that anyone else matters. But his jokes don't land. Lisa's laughter is gone, replaced by a deep ache in her chest. She wants to trust, but the pit in her stomach answers before she can even finish the thought. Outside the hotel window, the world moves on, but Lisa and Daniel are stuck in a silent showdown where one reply could change the outcome overnight. The stakes are all here: dignity, hope, maybe even a shot at a real future. Will that next message set Lisa free or send her sliding back into his web, even tighter than before? Every second waiting feels endless, because sometimes the thing you want most is the thing that hurts the deepest, when you finally see it without the filters, without the stories, without the sweet lies holding everything together. Lisa sits on the edge of the bed, knees pulled close, eyes glazed over but mind wide awake, replaying everything. Every weird moment with Daniel, every uncomfortable laugh from his friends, every time the conversation twisted back to what she could do for him. It wasn't just the lies about other women, it was his fascination with her finances. The subtle, hopeful questions about her job, her savings, her plans for the future, always angled toward how she could help him, how their lives could be better if she made certain sacrifices. Back then, it felt flattering, like he wanted to be part of her life. But now it's all colored by suspicion, and a cold pattern emerges. Daniel never quite talked about building a life together. He talked about having the American dream, and somehow she was always in the passenger seat of that story. Every time his friends toasted her, gushed over how he'd found the one, she told herself it was sweet, but she saw their side glances, heard the unspoken punchlines dancing at the edge of every joke. The way they hyped up her impact on Daniel's life was less about love, more about the opportunities he'd get. The travel, the money, the fresh start they all secretly wanted. Now she wonders if they were in on it, or if they were only half aware of the lengths Daniel would go. The memory of Daniel's face when he first saw her without her wig flashes again, not because of the silence, but because of the flash of disappointment he tried to hide. And now she realizes no real partner reacts that way, unless there's more at stake than a little surprise. Lisa's head swims as she realizes every new detail fits a story she never wanted to believe. The expensive dinner bills, the gifts he never seemed to notice until after he'd checked her mood, the little sigh of relief in his eyes when she offered money for a shared taxi, but he deftly avoided reaching for his own wallet. It starts to add up. Her heart aches with the embarrassment of every time she told her friends they didn't see the real Daniel, the soft-hearted guy who texted her late at night, told her she was his only one, promised her forever, when really he was practicing a script designed to get her to drop her guard. But here's the twist. Lisa isn't innocent in this act either. She's sitting on secrets big enough to shake up everything. The fact that there are parts of her past Daniel doesn't know, parts of her present that would make him question everything. Maybe everyone in this story is playing a part, hiding a truth they're too scared to confess. If she looks in the mirror, she sees someone desperate for love and validation, someone who thought keeping a few secrets might protect her own heart, only to realize that dishonesty is a two-way street. The game here isn't just about who got played first, it's about what happens when you realize you're playing each other for the same prize, security, hope, maybe an escape. So now she asks herself, is she the only fool? Or is Daniel in just as deep? Or worse, are they both so tangled up in their own stories that neither sees the storm until it's right on top of them? If both are hiding, what does forgiveness even look like? And who walks away whole? A vibrating chime slices through the silence, jolting Lisa out of her tangled thoughts. She blinks, realizing her phone is lighting up with a new notification. The message preview alone makes her heart thump so loud she thinks Daniel might hear it across the hotel room. It's her, the other woman. Lisa opens the app, and the screen fills with a chunk of new messages, typed out in blunt, unfiltered honesty. The woman doesn't waste time. She lays out exactly when and how Daniel reached out, the flirty tone, the plans he dangled, the hints at a future in America. Lisa rushes to scroll down, her nerves both sparking with hope and burning with dread. The woman admits she's deleted the screenshots too, but her memory is sharp. Her story lines up with all the warnings Lisa tried to ignore. Across the room, Daniel catches that something has shifted in Lisa's energy. She reads one particular sentence out loud, hands shaking but her voice steely. Tell your fiancé he can stop pretending. I know what he said. The room feels smaller, tighter. Daniel, sensing a trap, laughs it off at first, claiming she's mistaken. He tries to point out the profile picture is different, acts confused by the timeline, splatters his denial across every detail that doesn't fit the script he's rehearsed so many times. His bravado is almost convincing, but then Lisa's face hardens. Her questions get sharper. Her refusal to let go grows colder. Daniel, realizing the usual tactics are failing, starts to sweat under pressure he can't quite deflect. For a few seconds, he stammers in circles, but Lisa holds her ground, reading another pointed line from the other woman's messages. Without looking away, she asks the question that's been pulsing under her skin for days. Did you ever talk to her? Or are you about to lie to my face again? The words cut through the haze, and Daniel's funhouse of excuses collapses. He stares at her with a wounded look, almost as if he's the wronged one. Then, in a split-second pivot, he drops the denial. All right, yes, he admits, I talked to her. It was a long time ago, he says with a fresh wave of energy, as if admitting now earns him points for courage. She meant nothing. Once we started, I cut her off, he insists, eyes wide, voice suddenly thick with apology. The confession comes off scripted but smooth, and for a split second, Lisa's anger gives way to a strange, crushing relief. She wanted to be wrong, she wanted him to own up, and now he has. But why does it feel like winning a hollow prize? Her mind bounces between anger, sadness, vindication, and skepticism. Relief surges because at least now the gaslighting is cracked, but every word he says feels like a new test, a new wager with her trust on the line. She searches his face for anything real, but the performance is too good, and she wonders who Daniel rehearsed this apology for before her. He tries to wipe away her tears, gently repeating that she's the only one, that the past is dead, that nothing will ever threaten what they share. His tone says he's protecting her, but Lisa's gut twists, hearing the calculation behind every line. Relief feels fleeting. Doubt drags her back into the undertow. Is this the truth at last, or has Daniel simply shifted his strategy to survive the next round? Her mind pulls up every time he's dodged, every time his story has pivoted depending on what she already knew, and it infects this moment with a tension that won't lift. All those nights Lisa hoped for one simple answer have delivered a new storm instead. For every truth handed over, another layer of mystery unfolds. If Daniel is so quick to reveal betrayal only after running out of escapes, how many more secrets is he storing away for a new rainy day? Is any peace real, or is this just the price of keeping a dream alive? As Lisa wipes her cheek and wonders if I'm sorry can ever be enough, the unspoken question still hangs between them. If this is honesty, why does it feel like she's just opened the door to another game? One with even higher stakes and deeper wounds. Lisa stares at Daniel, her mind buzzing. her chest aching with uncertainty that refuses to go away. Somewhere inside her, there's a voice shouting to run. But she doesn't. Not yet. She sits in silence, feeling the weight of all the secrets pressing in from every wall. Forgiveness floats in her thoughts like a tempting shortcut, but the price keeps changing. Part of her wonders if she's forgiven bigger lies before, or if every time she let something go, she only stuffed away her own dignity for a little comfort. She remembers what it felt like to think she was special, to be told she was enough, and the idea that losing Daniel might leave her even lonelier than believing his lies. She studies Daniel. His hands reach for hers, fingers trembling not from nerves but from sheer need to regain control. His words flow out smoother now. I never wanted to hurt you. You're the only woman for me. No one can take your place. America was never the dream. You are. The performance is perfect because it doesn't feel like acting. Not right away. Lisa's heart thuds against the memories of her own half-truths and omissions. She has stories she's never told him, mistakes back home folded neatly away, and hopes that keeping a little distance would spare her from real hurt. Does she forgive because she loves him, or because she's desperate to make her last gamble count? The show makes you wonder, why do people cling to the hope that a liar will turn honest for them? Is it soft-hearted faith, or the fear that starting over means risking new wounds? Lisa's brain tries to run through all the logic, but her heart keeps moving the goalposts. Maybe she thinks, if she forgives him, he'll forgive her when her own secrets tumble out, when he learns she isn't as perfect or straightforward as he's always believed. For a second, Daniel's apology feels almost noble. He holds her a little tighter, rehearses lines about starting fresh, building trust, and Lisa almost melts, her anger fading under the warmth of his arms. Still, every whisper of affection is wrapped in a question mark. Is she forgiving because she believes, or because she's afraid to lose? Is she bargaining with her own heart, exchanging a hard truth for temporary peace? Daniel's charm raises old comfort, but Lisa can't shake what's lurking underneath. Something in her tells her that the more she forgives, the more she surrenders, and the less she'll recognize herself in the mirror when the story finally ends. She wonders if this is what love is supposed to look like, or if she's now part of a deal where both are scared to claim the truth. And as her defenses drop, as Daniel presses his forehead to hers and promises again that nothing will come between them, Lisa's relief is matched by dread. Has she trapped herself in something deeper than she ever planned, tied to a promise built on hopes and half-lies, standing on the edge of heartbreak that feels almost safe, because it's the kind she already knows? Each new day brings a strange routine where both Lisa and Daniel pretend nothing is wrong, but their eyes say everything that words don't. They move through hotel lobbies side by side, order food as if the air isn't humming with suspicion, and manage polite laughs that feel borrowed from old memories, not new hope. Lisa thinks she should feel closer to Daniel now that everything is out in the open, but instead her trust sits cracked and leaking, impossible to refill. In public, Daniel is the perfect partner, opening doors, making soft jokes, showering her with affection that looks good on camera. Yet in the quiet between conversations, she catches him sizing up her mood, checking her reactions, always tweaking his answers, as if every moment is a test he's rehearsing to pass. He brings up the future with gentle prodding, talk of new beginnings in America, how much better things will be when they don't have to deal with secrets, how marriage with her is the only missing piece in his life. But every warm daydream is entwined with a question about her job, her financial situation, which paperwork needs filing, how soon interviews can be scheduled, what she can put down for their next deposit, how much she's already spent on the we that keeps growing more expensive. Lisa's stomach tightens each time the talk spins back to money, remembering every deadline she's pushed, every bill she let pile up, every late-night calculation in her head that never quite adds up. The debt is stacking higher than just dollars and cents. She hides how scared she feels, how deeply ashamed she is to have invested so much in a future she's no longer sure fits her. Is she staying because she loves Daniel? Or because turning back now means admitting she let herself get played and paid for the privilege? And how do you pull the plug when you've convinced everyone, including yourself, that love is supposed to be unconditional, that you can ride out any storm if the ending is worth it? Daniel's sweetness has a sharp edge now, a nervous energy that never quite leaves the room. Any pause on Lisa's part, Any scrutiny, he answers with bigger smiles or more promises, almost as if he's determined to keep her close no matter how much it costs. Somewhere in her, anger simmers with guilt. If she cuts and runs, it's money wasted, time lost, heartbreak for nothing. If she stays, she's signing up for a contract that risks her heart and her savings every day. Admitting the truth out loud is so much harder than defending it in her head. The more she's put in, the harder it is to walk away, and that's the trap. The illusion that with just one more sacrifice, everything will finally balance out. Yet, you can feel it growing. One sharp word, one new secret, one accidental confession, and this careful truce will explode. The only question is, who will reach their breaking point first? The air grows thick one evening when the smallest question tips everything over. Lisa, exhausted by the weight of pretending, can't hold the words back any longer. She asks Daniel, point blank, if there's anything else she deserves to know. No more soft landings, no more sidestepping. Daniel, caught off guard, tries to skate around it, his tone extra sweet. But she cuts him short, and this time, her nerves give way to a cold clarity. She talks about sacrifice, about how much she's risked, even about the things she's never told him. For the first time, she gives him a glimpse that she, too, has things buried. Truths about her own life, her past, her present, that would flip the script if he ever found out. He senses it, tries to push for details, sensing leverage and fear all in one. Lisa's resolve is teetering between confession and defense, a feeling he doesn't know what to do with. The stakes feel higher than ever as both realize the power the truth holds. If she shares what's eating at her, is that the end? Will Daniel walk? Or will he double down, desperate not to lose what he's chased all this time? Lisa's heart pounds as she sees every lie in sharper focus, not just his, but her own, and the cycle feels like it could swallow them whole. But underneath Daniel's warmth, there's calculation, the kind that comes when someone's real goals are threatened. He's watching Lisa just as closely as she's watching him. Maybe each suspects the other is about to flip the game. Maybe both already know how this ends, but just aren't ready for it out loud yet. The real twist isn't whether someone finally confesses. The twist is who's holding the power when the curtains drop. Lisa thinks about walking away, but another part of her still wants to believe in redemption. Daniel's next move is equally mysterious. Does he dig in? Does he chase? Or does he run? As the night closes in and old wounds crack wider, it's no longer clear who's the victim and who's the player. Maybe there are no innocent sides left in a relationship built this way. All that's left is the uneasy question of what comes next, and who, if anyone, will be left standing when the dust finally settles. Morning breaks heavy, the hotel curtains filtering pale light through a room that feels colder now. Lisa wakes up first, lying still, listening to Daniel breathe on the other side of the bed. She studies the line of his shoulders, the way he curls away even in sleep, and wonders if the gap between them now is too wide to ever cross again. Forgiveness is a tempting lie, a blanket she wants to pull over everything and pretend last night never happened, but regret lives just beneath her skin, pulsing with every memory of what's gone wrong. She wants to believe things can go back to the way they looked on camera, laughing together, making promises that felt real, but her body aches from the weight of compromise. Trust is supposed to be simple, but now every touch, every word between them is layered with second-guessing. Daniel stirs and tries a smile, but even that feels rehearsed. He talks about breakfast, makes hopeful plans for later. He's still determined, she can see that. He keeps glancing at her, searching for some sign of softness, the signal that she can be won over with enough sweetness, enough future plans. He asks if she wants to see the city one last time before they meet with the immigration lawyer. For a moment, Lisa imagines saying yes, tucking her doubts inside and letting herself be swept up one more time. But the doubts are too loud. She remembers each breakdown, every backpedal, the desperate certainty in Daniel's eyes last night when he realized he'd been caught. How quickly his words pivoted from denial to apology. That moment changed something she can't take back. Yet the bargaining starts almost instantly. Lisa replays all the text threads from her friends warning her, all those late-night hours wondering if what she felt was real, if maybe she was just hard to love, if Daniel's mistakes meant she was failing too. Part of her wants to forgive, because the truth is, a future alone is daunting and expensive. Pride pulls her one way, hope another, and fear scuttles in between them like a shadow neither of them want to name. The idea of letting go of what she has, even with all its cracks, scares her more than holding on to what she doesn't trust. Why does she crave his affection even while her head tells her it's a risk she'll regret a second time? Daniel doubles down on a new tactic, showering Lisa with affection every chance he gets. He holds her hand a little tighter, offers to help with her luggage, makes up little jokes, puts on the boyfriend act so convincingly that if this was the first day, Lisa might have believed she's the luckiest woman alive. She watches him closely, sifting through each moment for slip-ups. It's a strange performance. Two people, both desperate not to be alone, both afraid to lose the story they've invested in, even as it falls apart. Daniel talks about the marriage interview, slipping in reassurances about a shared bank account and planning for holidays back home, as if those gestures are enough to rebuild what's already collapsed. She wonders if he believes his own script, or if he's become so good at lying that even he can't tell where the act ends anymore. The cameras aren't just filming a couple in crisis, they're capturing a lesson about how people turn on themselves when the future is up for grabs. Why do intelligent, self-sufficient adults ignore every warning, brush off red flags, and stick to relationships that need a notary instead of a counselor? Lisa's story isn't about being naive or not knowing better. It's about the ancient hope that somehow this time, against the odds, love will prove everyone else wrong. People want to believe their pain is an investment, not a mistake. They see leaving as failing, not freeing. Sometimes heartbreak is safer than the humiliation of facing your own reflection, and admitting the line between ambition and self-sabotage is razor thin. Underneath it all, Lisa feels her reasons for rationalizing Daniel's betrayal might be the same ones he uses to chase her forgiveness. Neither of them wants to be wrong or left behind. She is smart enough to see the game, but hope is stubborn. She reruns every apology and soft word. Would it be so bad to be wrong if being wrong means not being alone? Daniel clings harder for his own reasons, quietly measuring every step, still angling for the shot at a new life, or maybe for the thrill of the chase, for the illusion that love can be earned back as if nothing ever shattered. Neither wants to throw away all they've poured in, and both hate the idea of having to start over, haunted by current debts, both financial and emotional. But self-protection whispers too. Lisa knows if she forgives everything today, what's to stop this same heartbreak from crashing back in a year or a month or even tomorrow? Is forgiveness a gift or a currency she keeps spending so she won't have to risk real change? Maybe the saddest truth is that when two people hurt each other for long enough, trust stops being an anchor and turns into quicksand. One gentle step and you're swallowed whole. The day limps forward with small talk and strained affection. Daniel's charm wears thin against the backdrop of reality. Lisa's anxiety hums with every pause, every sideways glance, every plan made in future tense. She wonders how many more secrets she can live with, how much longer pretending will work, and if Daniel is really the only one who's hiding pieces of himself to keep the story alive. Are they partners or opponents who just want to win at any cost? The world outside their hotel thinks love is about compromise. But is there a breaking point where compromise just means selling off the last pieces of your self-respect? As Lisa weighs her next move, doubts pile up around every memory, and every word from Daniel feels heavier. Each one could be a thread that unravels everything, or a rope that ties her right back into his world. Will she take the leap and risk exposing her own secret, finally breaking the cycle? Or will Daniel, suddenly needy and promising, find a way to draw her back, one more time, into believing the version of him she wishes he could be? Before you let this story settle, ask yourself, if Daniel isn't the only one hiding big secrets, what happens when the next bomb drops? When the cameras catch not just a lover scorned, but a new twist no one saw coming? You won't want to miss what happens when Lisa's side of the story finally blows open. If you think you've seen it all, wait until you hear what comes next, only on Reality Sport.